So what attracts you to voice acting specifically, rather than like being on the stage or like being on screen? You said that you had a kind of a theater background too.
Yes, right. Yeah, and I continued doing theater up until about 3 years ago.
Okay.
And I do on camera, I do other types of voice work, so I do pretty much anything. And if you'll forgive the language, most actors are whores. I mean, really, we're guns for hire. So if somebody has an acting job, it's like, yeah, I'll be there, you know. Oh, you want me to dress up in a turnip outfit? Okay, that's fine. You know, it's like whatever the job is, we're pretty much game for it.
Right.
So, but you know, with voice acting, there's so many opportunities there to do a wide range of characters. So you can do a lot of things in voiceover that you could never do in person, like that you can't really do believably on camera or on stage. So to me, that's really the big pull with it. And I never imagined I would still be doing this 21 years later, but somehow, magically, people just keep hiring me. So I don't know.
That's wonderful. So, you know, you talked about how, you know, characters with voice acting is a little bit different than being on screen. Like, how do you hone in your characters for voice acting for like any kind of show? Like, how do you kind of get into character with that?
You know, it's a ridiculous thing perhaps to say, but I just kind of look at the character and then their voice just comes out of my mouth. I don't know.
That's awesome.
I've just been doing this for a really long time, so I look at the character, I'm watching them, what they're doing, what their expressions are. You know, I have a lot of input from the director about the show, about the character, and, you know, we kind of work on it together, and it just happens. It's just there. And a lot of that is drawing on experience, just, you know, all of my background in theater, my acting training, acting classes, and then just tons of experience, just all the experience.
Like, you probably have a little bit of improv that goes along with that too, right?
Oh, improv is a great background for anybody doing any type of acting. Voiceover, definitely, but really any kind of acting. Improv training, improv skills, super important.
Yeah. So most of your voice work is for anime. What is unique about that versus doing like Western animation?
Well, it's a crazy kind of acting to do because you're working to a finished product. And the category is actually called dubbing of a foreign language film. That's what anime is. So that's, if you looked at like a sort of schedule or a chart of different kinds of acting jobs, like per the Screen Actors Guild or what have you, that's the category. And so it's finished. It's a finished product. So it's not like, say, a Western cartoon or an original cartoon where you lay down a voice track, which is called prelay, and then the animation is actually done to match your own mouth. Okay. So we're doing something to a mouth that already exists, and in the case of most anime, wasn't even made to match with the mouth of any human being on Earth. It's just like a little flippity flaps going open.
Yeah, so like your improv kind of helps with that too, doesn't it?
Oh, definitely. That you kind of can insert yourself into that character. It's kind of like acting with a mask on in a way, but yeah, it's a very different type of acting. So other kinds of voice work that I've done, like doing commercials or doing narration or industrials and things like that, of course it's a lot easier because you're not trying to match anything. With most work that you're doing, let's say if it's a commercial or anything really, usually there's a time restraint. It's supposed to be, you know, like a 30-second ad or whatever it is, but you're not having to match a mouth and a face and all of that. So that's that added level.
Yeah, I mean, that seems like it's something that could be a little bit more difficult, especially when you're like kind of first starting out.
Right. It's definitely a technique that's learned. You have to, you either catch on to it and you're good at it or you don't get it. And there are some people that are really tremendously gifted actors, either on screen or on stage, but they just don't have that skill set to do that, the lip flaps, matching the stupid mouth flaps. And you know, I just happened to kind of have a knack for it.
Oh, that's great. So, like, do you feel like this work, you know, dealing with dubbing, especially working with Japanese animation, kind of giving you insight into, like, the Japanese entertainment industry?
Somewhat, yeah. I mean, I'm not in it on that side of it where they're creating it originally, but You know, I've been around the industry for a long time. I do a lot of conventions. I've met a lot of Japanese creators.
Okay.
So, I mean, yeah, I have some insight into the Japanese entertainment industry, but I'm not really an expert on it. The people at this convention, where you guys are not, but the people here that are really the experts on that, Jan Scott Frazier and Matt Greenfield, those are the people that...
Great, yeah. So, you know, kind of going into your roles and stuff, like, which role has been probably the most fun for you?
That is so difficult to say because really, I have fun every single time I go in the booth.
Yeah.
It's always fun for me. It's too hard for me to say like a role that was a lot of fun. There's just so many that I think of that were really fun. A show we did a long time ago, Excel Saga. That was super fun, but one of the reasons that was super fun is I got to play a whole bunch of different characters in that show. Yeah, I was like these little poochoo aliens that are adorable.
Those are like my favorite things in there.
And I was Kumi, and she's this kind of country girl. And I was Matsuya, who's this really badass sort of Sentai warrior. And I played this little 10-year-old Latin American boy, Sandora. So I played all these different kinds of characters, and it was really awesome. I loved that show.
Well, and it seems like that's, you know, pretty different versus a lot of roles you just play one character, and that's like all you do.
Right, and I think that's one of the reasons that show was a lot of fun, is I got to play so many, like, really different kinds of things. And
yeah, like one day you're an animal, next day you're just a big warrior. I mean.
And usually, and the way we'll do that is, so I would go through and say, do all of Matsuya's lines. For whatever, like usually we would be working on about like 4 episodes at a go. So I do all of her lines, and then I'd go back and then I do all of Sandora's lines, and then I do all of Kumi's lines, and like that, you know. And it might take more than one session, but
So like, does that kind of fall, you know, kind of going into like the most weirdest role that you've ever done? Is that kind of like the same lines or?
Weirdest? Wow, I've done a lot of really weird things. There was this adorable little tiny bear in Those Who Hunt Elves, the second season of Those Who Hunt Elves. And they were these sort of little tiny magical bears who lived in the forest, and they were called Peachies. Peachy, like P-I-C-H-I-I, Peachy.
Okay.
That was their name of the creature, and so they sort of sounded like... And they were adorable, like totes adorbs, okay? And so I was kind of like the main Peachy, and he wore this adorable little red bow tie, super cute. And one of their special sort of magical abilities that they have is, now this is a little bear, and it could be sitting in your hand, like it's maybe the size of a guinea pig or something. And they poop out rolls of toilet paper. Their excrement is a roll of toilet paper, okay? Which, you know, if you think about like the size of a guinea pig, size of a roll of toilet paper, like how is that possible? Well, it's magic. That's what I want to say, it's magic. But so when the little bear has to, you know, do his business, so I had to, you know, like...
Oh, wow. That's something that's definitely great to put on your resume.
I know, yes. The pooping exertions for the little tiny magical bear. That just stands out in my mind. And I remember after we did that scene, I looked at the director, Janice Williams. I said, well, this must be the pinnacle of my acting career, being a pooping bear.
Fantastic.
It was pretty awesome.
So, you know, you're here at Geek Kon. Is this your first time at Geek Kon here?
It's my first time at Geek Kon. It's my first time in Madison, but I have been all over Wisconsin.
Yeah. So, what brings you, like, what attracts you to like these regional conventions that are kind of like these smaller, rather than going to like, you know, San Diego Comic-Con or some of these, you know, bigger cons?
Well, I go where I get invited.
Okay.
So if somebody invites me to their con, I will show up. It's really as simple as that. Yeah. And I do enjoy the smaller conventions.
Okay.
It's really great. So I'm happy to be anywhere I'm invited to be. It is awesome. But
it sounds like you have a lot of fun no matter where you go.
I do. I always have fun. I'm always meeting great people, and it's always a good time. So I've been to, like I said, many conventions in Wisconsin.
Right.
But
awesome. So, you know, kind of wrapping up here. So, like, like, what are you doing now? Like, is there anything you can tell us about what you're going into, or things that have been announced that you're kind of excited to announce that you're doing?
Yes. Well, there is a show that I worked on recently. I'm actually writing the scripts for, and it's called Parasite the Maxim. And at some point, several months from now, it will be on Cartoon Network in the new Toonami block. Actually, stepping back from that, I worked on a show called Akame ga Kill that is currently running on Cartoon Network, and it's on 12:30 Eastern, 11:30 Central Sunday nights. So make sure you watch it. But I play this adorable little dog, and cannot think of his name right now, but he's the only dog, and he has a secret magical ability that I will not reveal to you, but that was awesome. But anyway, back to Parasite the Maxim, because I do have to really plug it. Parasite the Maxim, it has not been dubbed yet. I would love to be able to work on the dub, but just working on the scripts, I mean, it's an incredible show, you guys, and if you watch the dub or you watch the sub, it's just such a fantastic show. I can't even promote it enough. It's that terrific.
Well, I'm definitely gonna have to check it out then. I will take your word for it on that for sure.
Absolutely life-altering. And I mean, I'm not just blowing smoke up your hoo-ha here. It is a great, great show. I mean, really, 21 years I've been in anime. I've worked on hundreds of shows. It's really in the top 2 or 3 shows that I've ever seen. It's really genuinely a terrific show. It's
awesome.
Fantastic.
Well, everyone will have to check it out at home then whenever they can.
Parasite with a Y. Parasite the Maxim. There you go. Mm-hmm.
So, anything else you wanna add here as we're wrapping up?
I love you guys.
I love you too, Tiffany Grant. Thank you so much for interviewing with us.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, and we'll see you around the con.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Thank you very much.